This video is brought to you by my generous backers over on Patreon. If you'd like to support the channel and get cool perks like access to the Discord, seeing the videos a week before anyone else, or exclusive Patreon only gameplays, then feel free to check out my Patreon. The link's in the description below. Karlov of the Ghost Council versus Golos, Tireless, Pilgrim. Haven't seen a Golos deck in a week or two. Well, we've got plenty of mana there. We've actually got a turn 2 Elspeth if we want one, so I think we keep there and try and get into that turn 2 Elspeth. It's a -8, so we'd need 5 turns. Oh, our opponent's got a fast start of his own though. I'm managing to generate 2 mana on turn 1. Which is unheard of usually. So they go for Duress, which probably takes our Elspeth, maybe our Mana Crypt away. Yeah, they get rid of Mana Crypt. So this is obviously, yeah, a highly tuned deck that our opponent's got. Jeweled Amulet is a dead giveaway for that one. So what was going to be a pretty good start for us has now slowed us down entirely. Luckily for us, we've got a low curve on this deck, but somehow I think our opponent's going to run away with this one. Now it is a Rhystic Tutor. We are not going to pay 2 to prevent that. Does that go into their hand? Yes, you put it into your hand. So they may just go for a land there because they haven't played one yet. The sooner we can get into 3 mana for Anguished Unmaking on that Mana Crypt, the better. I don't think we're going to be able to outrace our opponent here. And it is a land that they've gone for. I don't know what that is. Geothermal Crevice. Okay, it's just a Jund land pretty much. Let's drop our commander. And we might as well throw out the Zerent Orb as well. So now just 1 land and they can go in for their Golos on turn 3. Which is why I wanted to get rid of the Anguished Unmaking. They do know we have that, so you would assume that they would get Golos out while they've got the chance. They've got Metalcraft from the Mox Opal. Go for the 2 mana from the Geothermal Crevice. So going for something other than Golos perhaps. Okay, it's Ad Nauseam. Let's see what they can do with an Ad Nauseam. Pull that over there and we'll have a look at our opponent's deck at least, pretty much. Reveal the top card of your library, put it into your hand. Lose life equal to the CMC. You may repeat the process any number of times. So they're obviously going to have a huge hand here. They've clearly as well got a really low curve so that they can fill up their hand with Ad Nauseam. I don't know what their aim is here though. They've still got Metalcraft with the Mox Opal. They've got around about 30 cards left in the library. Might be that they've planned it out so much that they can actually draw their entire deck with Ad Nauseam. Okay, they just decide to go down to 3. You can all have a look at the reveal zone there. And I'm just going to auto-yield because our opponent's clearly comboing off on turn 3 here. All of this stuff is in the reveal zone and it is now in their hand. So I'll just scroll up and down a few times so you can have a read through if you want to. Only 23 mystery cards that you would have to fill in yourself if you wanted to build this deck. Okay, that's Mana Bond. At the beginning of your end step, you may reveal your hand and put all the lands into play. If you do, discard your hand. So there goes our Anguished Unmaking onto Mana Crypt. That is not going to make any difference. And then they go in for Tinderwall as well. Sacrifice it, add red twice. Or you can deal 2 damage to a creature. Yeah, they reveal their hand. We've pretty much seen that already. So there we go, they get a bunch of lands into play with Mana Bond. This is a pretty interesting deck our opponent's made. That is Avacyn's Judgment. Ah, I see, so they can play that with Madness. That is to a player, I think. Yeah, Madness is red and X. Divided as you choose amongst permanents and or players instead. Do they have 29 mana? They've got Urborg, so where's Cabal Coffers? Surely they've got Cabal Coffers in here. Or maybe they just didn't draw into it. Anyway, we'll see how much mana they can produce. They might be able to deal X damage to us and knock us out of the game. Failing that, they can go for Golos next turn and get a bunch of activations off. Okay, and that is 33. So even if we gained 4 life, which we could, we'd still only be at 33, so they've got exactly enough for us. Plus we wouldn't have any lands anyway, so it would be ridiculous to go for that. Yeah, a turn 3 win. Very impressive. But it'll only be impressive once, so I hope not to not to come across this deck again. Alright, let's try again. This time we're up against Keranos, God of Storms, with not as good an opening hand as we had last time, but apparently our great opening hand didn't matter a jot in the last game. Let's just start things off with the tap land again. And then we need to be careful about... Yeah, our opponent's got basic lands, so I'm going to play around a Blood Moon. We need to try and get into a basic swamp, preferably. If our opponent's going to use rocks, I think we go Blind Obedience here, because Izzet does like rocks. So let's go for a Plains, playing around the Blood Moon. And we'll go Blind Obedience in an attempt to slow our opponent down. Okay, it's a Goblin Settler, so all the competitive players are out tonight, aren't they? I am playing against randoms. I've said it a few times on the channel so far, but the Patreon is a few days old now, and we're just getting into the groove of when we can all play together and stuff like that. So we need to, get that going sooner rather than later, so things like this don't happen. We'll see what Keranos can do, though. We'll get rid of... Oh, I don't know. Get rid of the Essence Harvest. Our opponent Lightning Bolts us with Keranos. And continuing to make lands. So clearly they've got the heart of the cards with them this game. Mana Vault comes in tap, though. So they'll have to pay for that. Now Phyrexian Revoker. Probably names our commander. Just to rub salt in the wound, I think. And notice how our opponent blew up our plains, so that definitely points me in the direction of they have Blood Moon in the deck. They wanted to get rid of our basic as opposed to our dual source. So I definitely think they've got Blood Moon here. They're really paying a lot of attention to what they name with that. Yeah, they do go for Karlov. Yeah. Not going to draw into lands, apparently. So we'll ditch that one. And now paying to untap the Mana Vault, so we did slow them down a little bit with the Blind Obedience. Oh, are they revealing cards with the... Yeah, of course, they reveal cards with Keranos, so they've got Prismatic Lens in play, along with the Phyrexian Revoker. We know about those. Steel Shaper's Gift. Well, it doesn't really do anything, does it? But we might as well play it just for the fun of it. Couldn't extort if we wanted to. Let's just grab the Umezawa's Jitte. Get rid of Murderous Rider. And our opponent's going to draw an additional card here. They revealed a mountain, which they play immediately. And the fact that you've got to really watch the red players. If they've got a bunch of basics, then chances are that they've got Blood Moon, like I've said. So that is something to watch out for. Let's try a Mother of Runes. And again, that's a no to the extort. Riftwing Cloudscape allows the Keranos. I think this is non-creature. Whenever a non-land card is revealed, you get to Lightning Bolt something. They obviously did that on the Mother of Runes. There's our Wasteland that we can't use. We'll go for the Nyx Fleece Ram. Argument to be made for the Night's Whisper, but I want to try and stem the bleeding. And that dodges the Lightning Bolt from Keranos as well. Oh, a Kiki Jiki with a Goblin Settler in play. Yeah, that's actually the combination of cards, something similar to that I will have in the new Perforos Bronze Blooded deck. My intention actually is to go and the blind obedience hurting our opponent again a little bit. The intention there is to actually go infinite with the World Gorger Hydra, the World Gorger Dragon, I should say, and Kiki Jiki, and then that will give us infinite ETBs with something like a Goblin Settler, which is in that deck. I've made it already, just waiting for the cards to release. But anyway, as for these games, our opponent bounced the Nyx Fleece Ram with the Rift Wing Cloudscape, by the way. And yeah, we get absolutely hammered 2 times in a row. What is it for reference? We are on Wednesday, and UK time it is 6:30 in the evening. So that might tell you when some of the more competitive players come online, just in case you want to join them or avoid them. Anyway, hopefully you all got some enjoyment from this game. Getting absolutely battered twice in a row. I'm tribalkai on the EDH channel. Thank you for watching.